What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Cato the King, man. I'm here about to do an official review of Adversity for Sale, the book by Young Jeezy. It's a deep dive into his life, just everything that's happened with him. If you know me, you know like I'm a huge fan of Jeezy. I think everything Jeezy touches is gold, man. Like I really don't feel like he has done anything that wasn't well calculated and classic and nothing short of perfection. And I really model myself after a lot that Jeezy does, man. I'm inspired in many ways just by the man that he is. I think that a lot of people that deal with the lifestyle that he did deal with, they really don't let it go. Like if they had that level of success that he's had, they'll just keep on going until they get arrested or they die. So to see someone just find their way out of that, I think it's dope. I think it's real dope. Like I said, I just really, as far as being an artist, model myself after a lot that he does. He's right now, and since he came out, has been my favorite artist, hands down. And I'm gonna take a deep dive into that today, as well as just how I know, on a personal level, that he really doesn't lie about the stuff he says he's been through. It's all true, and it's even it's stories that I have from my own life that's like brush shoulders with people that truly knows this guy, and I think it's awesome. So without further ado, welcome to the Insomniatic Podcast. I'm Cato the King. On Instagram, you can follow me. Please hit me with that follow. Subscribe to my YouTube channel under Cato the King as well. On X, formerly Twitter, it's the Insomniatic LLC. Picture right there on the screen. And on Facebook, it's the Insomniatic brand. So give me that follow, like, share, comment, whatever. Yeah, do it all. I'm here for it. So let's get into this book. Adversity for Sale. I really like that. It's such a deep dive into Jeezy's story, man. Like it's probably not many people who are fans like me to the extent that I am, but for those of us who are, certain characters it brings to life, like his auntie. He still keep it at his auntie house. His Uncle Bo Slick, mailman. Gold Mouth. Like, dude, it was definitely a treat for someone like me to get this book, and I didn't even see it coming. When I seen it was coming, like it kind of just did something different for me. Like I know it's cats who got books. I know 50's got a book, Ross has got a book. Perfect Day to Boss Up. Shout out to Ross and 50, and I just feel like that's cool, but like I'm not. Those aren't my favorite artists, just like in the world, you know what I mean? So in Jeezy's book, without hopefully I don't give away too much of the book, but he's a military kid. His dad in the military. He kind of has a military affiliation with what he does in the city where we're from. And I have met his dad a few times. I've been to his dad's house. When I was younger, I actually was in a relationship for a short time with, I'll just call her Jay. That's my homegirl to this day. Jay is Jeezy's stepsister, I should say. But she, looks at him like a brother. She calls him her brother. And when we were dating, I remember her saying, because if you know me, I do music, period. Like everyone who knows me, that's what they know about me. That's one of the first things they know. And she'll always be like, yeah, my brother raps too. I'm gonna have to introduce y'all one day, blah, blah, blah. And then one day we were on the phone. She was like, yo, my brother project's about to come out. He about to drop. And she was quoting lyrics. I'm like, your brother said that? That's kind of cold. I ain't gonna lie. That's real cold. Like, it was getting to the point where, everybody was beginning to do music and stuff. And so it was like, But like as I hear lyrics, and like the way she would like hype up like her brother's stuff, it's like, dang, I'm kind of like excited to hear it myself, I ain't gonna lie. And then like I heard it on my own, like separately from her, and was like, that's tough as hell. That's a dope project. Like, oh my goodness, this might be my favorite shit that's out right now. And then like when I talked to her and she was like saying the lyrics and shit, and I'm like, yeah, I can't even believe that's like your brother. Like, that's nuts. That's who you've been talking about all this time. And so like, you know, I just really, just from his character references, from things she would tell me, like the type of guy he is, to hearing what he says about himself, and just knowing his experiences in life, like, I became a fan instantly. And that project built historic to me. I think the anticipation of young Jeezy, from Dropping Trap or Die all the way up until Thug Motivation 101, which was his first album, on the main circuit, as far as like major deals, because he speaks in the book about having major deals not be something that was on the table early in life. Like, people really didn't want to give him a chance and stuff like that, and then like it just all happened at once, to where they start presenting him with those type of opportunities out the blue, after it had been like a struggle, to come across the right situation, and at first, he speaks on, he just kind of like tried to start a label, and he was trying to get behind other artists, and he ended up getting to the point where he had to, just go ahead and do it himself. And like, somebody presented him with the idea. It wasn't like he just wanted to be this rapper. Somebody was like, maybe you should try it. But key points from the book that I really enjoyed was him talking about where he one of his first hustles was stealing from the exchange. And I'm military, so I live near base. I'm on base every day. And pretty much, I go to the exchange a lot throughout the week. So that kind of, it hit home for me, because when you think about Jeezy, you don't think about, the military like that. I mean, it's something that I knew about him just from knowing his dad, knowing people in his family, and knowing what his dad does. And but to hear him talk about his experiences, that was kind of cool. Also, just how he turned that into a hustle. That was kind of dope. And of course, Matt Lou, his grandmother. Just hearing stories that involve her. Because I was good friends with Jay still, which is, I'm speaking of his sister, when she passed. So I remember her speaking about seeing him, during that time and stuff like that. Like, because he came, he was kind of on that side of, I'm gonna say town, but like the country type shit. And she ended up seeing him, but that had happened. That transpired where she passed, and yeah, it was just cool, man, to be that close to a situation like that, knowing my own personal aspirations and stuff, and like, it was motivational as well, because you just see how his people look at him, and it's kind of a person that I've aspired to be in my own family. Like, people know if I could help them in any way, I will help them. Take care of issues they got going on. I do that without being like a very wealthy man, but if I was wealthy, I know that there's certain situations going on, or that have went on with my family members, that it wouldn't be nothing that'd be done. They wouldn't have to worry about it. A couple other things from the book, man. His uncle Bo Slick, man. He always talk about Bo Slick in his music, and it kind of brought him more to life. Conversation they had right before Jeezy dived into hustling. And it was just like his uncle gave him his last dub just to make him feel better, And that shit was like, it was a testament to, this guy's position in Jesus' life, Because, you hear about certain uncles that necessarily ain't his favorite uncles, and things that went on, it's you find out how Goldmouth got his name, which is a cool thing to me, and it actually came from the same uncle. So that's dope. That's dope to know. Mailman was instrumental in basically even Jeezy getting into hustling. Just by somebody he knew somebody else who knew somebody type shit. You know, um, Jeezy finds a freaking bag of cash at his cousin's house long before he ever hustled and got caught like trying to like pocket that shit. It's a real interesting stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's a great deep dive into his life. But his auntie house, where he say he still keep it at his auntie house, his auntie mother. That's something I never knew. And Popper Street, in Hawkinsville. I just think, oh, that's dope, man. Knowing like deep, definitive things about the music you hear now, you could listen to it differently. He speaks on how he went to a military school. That's where he met Kinky B. And I went to basic training, so a lot of the stuff he was talking about the school, I definitely can identify with it, because if you ever been to basic training, you ain't never gonna forget that shit, and that's a guarantee. It's definitely a guarantee. And later on, he links back up with King, of course, and King's from Macon, so he's talking about the division in Macon and how Macon's at the time Macon's gang culture kind of had Macon divided. But there's a lot of money that they was leaving on the table by being divided, and being that he wasn't a part of either side, he kind of unified certain groups that opened the door for them to get money. And then once that happened, it was time for the A-Town stuff, man. And he speaks on being Coach K. He speaks on Magic City, like being like his office type deal. Like, he met a lot of people there. A lot of business got done at Magic City, he talks about BMF, of course, and that's one of the parts everybody, really, really look forward into hearing about as well. Everybody who has been around Meech talks about how he's a really great dude, yeah, it's a dark cloud that follows BMF because things they have done and things they do to generate money, but like there's a lot of good people involved. And me personally, I have had the opportunity to like actually run with BMF for like a whole day and a whole night, and it was something I'll never forget, man. You just ain't never really saw that type of unity with that type of money, with people from all over and not just from one place. I was in Atlanta at the time when it happened, but like everybody wasn't from Atlanta. It was people from where I was from, not the actual city, but like people from South Carolina, people from Georgia, people from Florida, people from wherever the hell, and everybody was getting money. And I mean, it was beautiful when I walked in with them. The respect that was given at the time, the night that I went, and I was with them. We went to like 5 different places, and it was love every time we stepped in the door. I remember one of the places was Fabo's birthday party, and I was with this cat. I'm not gonna say his name. I still remember his name to this day. I'm actually trying to figure out how to reach back out to him, but you ain't never walked in a place that's an event thrown by a celebrity, and the celebrity look at you and the guy that you were with like he's a celebrity and scream and be like, thank you for coming, and that was dope. That was one of the best memories of that night. We also went to the Youngbloods house, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Paul and J-Bo, like that shit was cool as hell too. It was just like coming from where I'm from, going to Atlanta's hit and miss. You're not gonna really just always see a celebrity or see, somebody of notoriety that you've been wanting to run into, at least to help further your career. But when I was with BMF that night, I had my music on me, and they were interested in signing me. And like bro, they were like, "What you drink?" I told them what I drank. Bartender, give me that bottle off the wall. Boom. Oh, you smoke? Yo, go grab this from that guy. You good? You ain't even gotta give him no bread. We got you. Like, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience, and that was probably months. It wasn't long after Meech had been locked up. So Meech already got locked up at the point when I had my experience with BMF, but I still think it was a cool thing, man, just to see that type of unity go on with a group of guys. There was no violence that night. So, I know you hear things, and it's probably true. Like, I got a homie who was damn near scared for his life because he said he knew too much, you know what I mean? And he was kind of running from that lifestyle and that particular group, from what I was told. I don't know how true that is or whatever, but, all I know is it was all love when I was there and a part of things, and it was doors open, you know what I mean? And they were adamant about it. So we still run Atlanta, like we do. We run Atlanta, and it ain't everybody know, it ain't no secret. And I think that was pretty cool, man. But me personally, I've always been that guy who almost met Jeezy. I was backstage at Boys in the Hood performance, and everybody was there except for Jeezy. I met Jody Breeze. Man, we chopped it up for so long. And Jody's a cool guy, man. Like, you probably can hit Jody up and he hit you back, or he at least look at your DM and think about it. You know what I'm saying? And just a super talented cat, man. Like, I definitely always support Jody. And in the book, Jeezy talks about a young cat who can rap his ass off, Jody Breeze, and that is a very great description of this cat because he's determined, he's talented, man, and it's dope. Big Duke, all of them guys, man. Listen, Edge Hanger, come on. But, and that's not to, I ain't trying to miss nobody or nothing like that. Like, all them guys to me in their own way can spit, each and every member of Boys in the Hood, straight up. But yeah, in the book, man, I'm getting back to the book. Jeezy talks about the vacations with BMF, where, of course, the famous trip where Meech took the whole fucking BMF, and he just talks about Meech's personality, even laughing at the one time he got shot. And I don't want to give away too much of the book, but I think that one of the dopest parts is where he talks about T.I. pulling him to the side and Patchwork and being like, bro, you got to choose between that life or this life. You can't do both. And like, at first it ain't register with him what Tip was saying, because he felt like he'd be being fake if he did, just rap about some shit that he wasn't doing no more. But as the feds start closing in and all kind of shit start going on, he realized that T.I. was right. And I think that's fire. I think that's dope that their relationship today is based off of basically T.I. having his best interests at heart during that time. So he's a legit friend. He ain't have to say that. During the time T.I. was a star, he ain't have to even give a damn about none of that stuff, but he actually took the time to pull him to the side and just give him that advice. He talks about meeting Drum, man. I think that's interesting to me because Drum seems to be this cat that's similar to me as far as just like fully indulged in like the art of the hustle, like just trying to get his series off the ground, get his name up, get his respect up, and then he's good at what he's good at. And I think Jeezy noticed certain strengths about it, and it's funny that you never would have thought that Jeezy kind of had to like constantly get at Drum for Drum to even fuck with him, and Jeezy the one who had a name, because Drum wanted his brand to be something that he left it that way. He wasn't going to step outside of it for nobody. But then when Jeezy presented him with the ideology and the right idea, he was with it. And it really popped off, man. To this day, I mean, I love the last album they just dropped. everything they ever did, man. Came back to Snowman, bro. Like, listen, but I am a Jeezy fan, bro. Project for project, I feel like that's the type of artist I strive to be. Is that I want my album hot from song one through the last song, and I think that people, I don't know, sometimes they act like that ain't what Jeezy's doing, but like me, I'm never gonna do that. Like, I feel like all the albums, the Recession. I mean, you can name whatever album you name. You know, I feel like it's hot start to finish, and like that's why I knew when like he had the verses, which is a part of the book as well. He talks about the verses, which is dope, and I think it's good. He touched on it, but I think that, you know, like, I'm not anti Gucci. I got songs of Gucci I like, and I really like the Gucci of now, like the Gucci from the album Everybody Looking. Once Gucci got out, I feel like he's killed everything he done since he got out of jail and did that album Everybody Looking. I definitely feel like that, but I feel like that you know, Jeezy's killed everything, period. So, you know, going in a versus up against somebody, I just felt like that Gucci fans were gonna look for him to go for the kill shot and this and that. But if you're talking about hits for hits for hits for hits, it ain't just Gucci who couldn't go up against Jeezy. It's a lot of cats who can't even step in the ring with that dude. So I mean, it's like, you gotta be T.I., you gotta be Wayne, you gotta be somebody who got a crazy amount of hits. And like, with all respect to Gucci, it just wasn't a situation like that, you know. Gucci had the streets, he had a lot of mixtape shit, but I mean, Jeezy got mixtapes. And I just feel like that going 20 songs a piece, it's hard for any artist to pick 20 songs to go up against Jeezy. It's just gonna not go well for you, you know what I'm saying? But he did speak on, like, he regrets dropping the song Stay Strapped. He said he felt like that was just a reaction because Gucci thought he was blowing him off, being some type of way, but Jeezy was trying not to let the world know his vocal cord pop, because if he did, he felt like labels would back out on him and stuff like that, and he had already worked this hard to get labels to even give him a chance. And then Gucci dissed him, and then it pissed him off. So Stay Strapped, he just was in his feelings. He said to hit on the chain, all that shit. But you know, he said if he could take anything back that he's done, it would be that. You know what I mean? But he also said when he did So Icy, he had he kind of did it because he was like, he started feeling bad about the fact that he was just brushing Gucci off every time he seen him, brushing him off. So he's like, all right, let's do it. You know, and then Gucci was like, well, we should let my boy Zaytoven produce it because, you know, Zay, he's fire, he's up and coming. I think he'll do good. And then the next thing you know, the rest was history. The song started blowing up, and people thought that it was Jeezy's song. And Jeezy didn't care either way, but the label started wanting him to own the song over Gucci owning it. But some of the label did some underhanded stuff behind Jeezy to make it seem like to Gucci that Jeezy was trying to get the track, when really it was his label trying to do it. It wasn't Jeezy, but he was kind of in hiding because of his vocal cords. So it's a lot of shit that he couldn't address or, you know, clear his name about, and then it just kind of snowballed into that. But, you know, to see them guys squash that beef, nobody else die, you know, that's grown man shit. And I think that there should be more OGs like them, man, that's trying to just show these young cats another way, because killing is getting glorified nowadays. It's never a country music artist, it's never a pop artist, it's never no other genre of music burying they artists except for us, hip hop. And we definitely got to do better, man. We definitely do. But, you know, Adversity for Sale is a crazy good book. If you're a Jeezy fan, if you're not a Jeezy fan and you just a hustler, you know, you got ambition, man, I think it's still just as good of a book. And I think all y'all should check that out. I give it 5 stars. Of course, it's a bestseller, so even me giving it 5 stars ain't make it what it is. It's just being a good book made it what it is. But that's all for now. I'm Cato the King. This is the Insomniatic Podcast, and I appreciate y'all fooling with me. I'll let you later. Yeah. Let's get it.